Welcome to the Cougar Cast here at the Kokomo Post Sports. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, and this is the place to get all the information on what's going on inside the athletic department at IU Kokomo. And joining us once again for today's show is Grant Patterson. He is one of two assistant athletic directors at IUK. It's the first show of 2025. Grant was away for a little bit in sunny Florida. I was a little jealous, but I'm also glad to have Grant back here with us on the show.
I hadn't even put that through my mind yet. Obviously, it's 2025 just beginning, but first show of 2025. It's good to be back in the saddle, Jay.
It's good to be back, and it's good to hear about a winning streak going on right now in the athletic department. Coach Eric Eckelbarger's team has been hitting, I want to think, on all cylinders. I know a 5-game winning streak, you think of hitting on all cylinders, but that's a great way to kind of build momentum leading into a full slate of RSC play.
Yeah, full slate of RSC play ahead for sure, and building as much momentum as possible with as many people as possible. We don't have many people due to health. I should say we don't have many available student athletes is the more well-versed way to put that. So yeah, we're battling the injury bug hard, both men's and women's basketball, especially our men's team. They've been struggling with a bunch of hip concerns and starting to finally get some good luck, maybe, if you will. DT Gary will be rejoining the squad for the second half of the season. He'll be available to play as early as Wednesday at Brescia. So that'll help the depth. But man, they've relied on the people who have been healthy have been those senior leaders in Noah Harris, Max Newman, Del DeMyers. Unfortunately, Del just went down Saturday in our home game. So Del DeMyers, Noah, Max, Chris Chin, Drake Moore, Evan Kretz, all these guys are playing big roles, but we don't have many more beyond those 6, 7, 8 guys. I'm pretty sure Saturday we had 8 available. Prior to that, we only had 7 available in the 2 Christmas break games at Oakland City. But don't look now, this team's won 5 or 6 straight games, Jay. I think it's 5. 5.
I think it is 5.
Yeah.
I think it's 5. And one thing I like about Coach Eric Eckelbarger, at least with this squad this year, they can attack you in different areas. I've only seen them play once, but the one time I saw them play, Max was doing his thing. Noah Harris was too. But, man, Evan Kretz can shoot the lights out that thing.
Yeah, you give him the slightest bit of space, and he's going to make you pay for it. It truly is hand down, man down when you're around Evan Kretz. And like I said, just a sliver. His teammates know that. They've learned that throughout the year, throughout the practice preseason, and he's proven that. Had a bit of an off day Saturday, but I'm sure that just means he's primed to bounce back Wednesday at Brescia and this Saturday as we host IU Columbus in the inaugural game between the two programs.
The inaugural game?
Yeah, between IU Columbus and this is their first year of basketball.
Oh, Interesting. I dig that. I know they have Bobby Wannell is on that squad.
Yep.
Former, I think he went to
Taylor
Kokomo.
High School AD's son. Yep.
He was at Kokomo and Taylor, right?
Yep, he played at Kokomo and Taylor, and he is the son of another Kokomo Post celebrity, if you will, Bob Wannell.
Celebrity, maybe. He might let that get to his head. What highlighted – so last week, I know they played 3 games. They won all 3. What kind of stood out from your standpoint from those 3 games they played last week?
Man, Max Newman in a big way stood out to me. We'll touch on this again, but 17 rebounds. He had at least 13 rebounds in all 3 games in this time period. And had 28 points in the first game, 21 points in the second game, and 16 points this past Saturday. So double-doubles in 3 straight. He was a double-double machine all of last season, struggled early this season. He only had 1 or 2 through 10 games, but now he's starting to find his groove on the glass, and he had 7 boards in 2 games offensively this weekend. So 7 offensive rebounds is a big deal. That normally leads to points and normally leads to the deep ball because we all know the best time to shoot the 3 is off of an offensive rebound. So he's been a big reason why. Getting Chris Chin back healthy from an injury he suffered earlier in the year. Drake Moore against his old squad in Oakland City. He's spending his final year of eligibility at IU Kokomo. He had a good game, scored an IU Kokomo career high, 12 points this past weekend against the Mighty Oaks. And then your Evan Kretz, he's always going to be there, available to knock down the deep ball. He's shown an ability to defend this year, improve an ability to defend. So, basketball's been playing well, and they've been relying on the senior leaders as well as that veteran coaching staff.
Lisa Pfluger's squad only played 1 game last week. Unfortunately, it was a 13-point loss to Oakland City. What can fans expect from the young ladies on that team as there's a road game on Wednesday and then a home game, a doubleheader on Saturday?
Yeah, I think they've got a pair of winnable games this week and a road game at Brescia and a matchup with the Crimson Pride of IU Columbus on Saturday. I think they're set up for success on this trip. Yes, it was a 13-point loss. Yes, Oakland City was only 6-6 coming into the game, but this is an Oakland City squad that, man, they've got to be one of the fastest teams in the nation, not in terms of individual quickness, but in terms of how they like to play. They get up and down the floor nonstop. They shoot the three. Pretty much one through four can shoot the three. Yeah. Their 5 was passing the ball, handling the ball for them, serving as a point guard at times. This is an Oakland City squad that gave us absolute fits last year. Both matchups for Lisa Pfluger's squad when she was the interim coach last year. But it's a big improvement this year to be hanging with them through really each of the first 3 quarters, definitely the first half, but never really let the game get out of reach. Even though it was double digits for most of the second half, it was still within reach. We made multiple runs to cut it to single digits. Mia Katie had 16 points and 10 rebounds, another double-double. She's kind of like Max Newman. She's been turning it on as of late. Hasn't been known to crash the glass throughout her career so far, but in her 3rd year here, her junior year at IU Kokomo, she's shown that propensity.
Speaking of some things that have happened in a big way, I know there's some big things going on this week at IUK via the doubleheader on Saturday. Yeah. Grant's mentioned that a couple of times, but also I don't know if it was Monday or Tuesday, forgive me, Grant, but I was circling on Twitter, and then I saw the River States Conference Twitter page. I don't follow them, but they just happened to come on, maybe the For You page, and it was just highlighting the athletes, the first athlete of the week for 2025. And they highlighted IUK. There was 2 athletes. Max Newman, you mentioned one, but then Sydney Duncan, I think it goes back about 2 weeks ago from when that actually happened. But Sydney Duncan got another award, and Max Newman, 2nd Offensive Player of the Week award of the season. Both of those athletes have just been doing phenomenal things this year.
Yeah, Max he's only in his 2nd season as a student athlete at IU Kokomo, 2nd and final year, unfortunately, but he's just racking up the awards. I thought about going back and looking yesterday when writing that article on how many he earned last year in his junior year, but obviously this is his 2nd this year. I'm assuming he's probably up to 5 total in his 2 years here, but like I just touched on, I mean, 3 straight double-doubles, scoring 28, 21, and 16 in 3 straight 17, and 13 rebounds on the glass, both offensively and defensively. He's been a force on the glass. This was as big of a no-brainer as I've ever had in terms of nominating a player. I will say, this week as a whole, nominating these 2 players in Sydney Duncan and Max Newman, I know there was no doubt. I went ahead and wrote the Player of the Week articles because I knew that they were going to be they were going to be voted winners. And if they weren't, I was probably going to be drafting an email to my cohorts in the conference.
I would love to see what would have happened. No, I wouldn't love to see what would have happened. But if it didn't happen, it's like, hey, guys, you guys really messed things up.
But yeah, Sydney's did go back. You're 100% right. Sydney's award predates the show, obviously, back into the middle of December 13th. She competed in Indiana's early bird meet. We touched on that because she was the U.S. Track and Field Collegiate Coaches Association. Yes. She was their USTF CCCA NAI Freshman of the Week, which has never been done before in IU Kokomo program history. So to get that done, obviously she essentially runs this award in the indoor field athlete of the week and outdoor women's field athlete of the week. She should run those for most of the year because, as we touched on prior to the Christmas break, she's still seated number 1 in the nation in indoor shot put. So the future's bright for her this year. She was a 2-time All-American in her freshman year. You can't get more than 2 in your freshman year with indoor and outdoor. So she's already perfect. I think we've got a national championship contender on our hands, and it'll be fun to follow her along, and not only in person this season, but here along on the Cougar Cast as well.
So I know that basketball is playing this week. When is the next indoor track and field meet?
Yeah, indoor track and field will actually be back in action this week as well.
Okay.
This really kicks off a stretch for them where it's go, 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 nonstop. Sometimes two meets in a weekend. This weekend they'll be at Mount St. Joseph. I know Josh mentioned that he may take some throwers elsewhere this week or to a different meet. Can't remember exactly where he mentioned, but yeah, Mount St. Joseph's is where the team will be headed this weekend, just across the border in Cincinnati. So indoor track and field, they'll be competing just like basketball prior to school going back in session on the 13th.
And I think you said before the show started that baseball reported, was it Monday of this week? And that's just insane to think about with all the snow that's around the state right now at the NAIA level, really, I think all over the country, no matter if it's NAIA or NCAA, you're reporting for baseball now. And it's crazy, man. It's cold outside.
Before the turn of the month. I think our first game this year is in the month of January.
You're correct. I did double check that because last year it was in February.
Just barely, yeah.
But then he said that there were some guys that started in January at other schools around the country, and I'm thinking that's insane. But baseball's almost here, man.
That's why we're going south. We'll go south the first 4 weekends. So yeah, interim head coach Jeremy Honecker will lead the squad into the new year. 4 neutral site tournaments, if you will, neutral site tournaments or neutral site round robin setups. So yeah, be on the road at Cumberland. That'll just be 3 games against the host. And fellow assistant AD Alexa Roberts, that's where she got her master's degree, so we'll have a little banter about that. But as long as she's cheering for IU Kokomo, we'll be fine.
Are they still playing their home games downtown?
Yep. So as far as we know, even with the Jackrabbits news, haven't heard anything else. But I'm sure we'll work hand in hand with the city and just figure out where to go from here.
Anything else that we didn't touch on today during the show?
Not that I can think of. Just busy time coming up. We got indoor track. They haven't had a full team at any meet yet this year. I'm sure that will be happening soon. Probably not this weekend with school starting on Monday, but coming up soon in the coming weeks. Continue to follow along at iukcougars.com or our social medias. Our social media handles are very simple. Jay knows that. Busy time. So follow along. Don't miss out on any of our big events.
He forgot something, and I was trying to tee him up to try to just give him a softball to just knock that thing out of the park. Grant told me before the show that he wrote an article about the GPAs for the athletic department and how they were really just amazing. I'm not going to say what they are. I don't know the numbers. I know one specifically, but Grant, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I appreciate you for that. We talked last week how it's been tough getting back into the swing of things after Christmas being on a Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever it was, and New Year being in the middle of the week as well. But finally back in the office. Got an article out this afternoon. You can check that out about how well our student athletes did in the classroom this past fall. I think 157. I just did it before I came here. It's literally what delayed me in coming here. But I think we had 157 student athletes finish with a 3.0 or higher. We had 27, I believe, with a 4.0, perfect GPA for those of you unaware, and somewhere in the middle there on 3.5. So absolutely outstanding. We only have, for those of you unaware, we only have 15 varsity programs at IU Kokomo. 14 of those are sponsored by the NAI, with the 15th being esports. Only one of those 15 teams did not field a 3.0 GPA as an athletic program. That's uber impressive. And 4 of those athletic programs, all female, I will say, earned a 3.5 or higher GPA as a team. So yeah, special shout out, man. 14 of 15 teams to have a 3.0 GPA or higher. And we're talking at least our smallest teams have 7 or 8 members on the team. So that's still a team effort. And most of our teams have 15 or upwards of 15 or more. And to have 14 to 15 with a 3.0 speaks volumes to what our coaches are doing and what our people on the academic side of campus are doing as well to work hand in hand with our athletic department to ensure that they're successful on and off the field.
I will say congratulations to all those athletes that got it done in the classroom. We've had coaches on here, we've had athletes on here, and both coaches and athletes talk about the importance of getting the things done in the classroom and not slacking or just taking it for granted that you're able to be a college athlete. And there's athletes. I think Brooklyn Garber was one of them that came on at one point and was just talking about the importance of the classroom. And it shows with stuff like this that Grant's talking about. And I really enjoy not just the athletic accomplishments, but also the academic ones as well, because they're athletes now. They might not be athletes for the rest of their lives. It's fun to get this stuff done now so you're able to start your careers in whatever field they choose after their career at IUK is complete.
Yeah, a 3.26 department GPA. I don't know that I threw that in there, but that's got to be one of the higher department GPAs we've had in a while. I know it surpassed what we did in the spring semester. So under, I teased our athletic director, my boss, Heather Hayes, that under her tutelage, we're rising in terms of the GPA scale. So we'll see what we can do in the spring semester. That begins next Monday, January 13th, and see what we can put together for a full academic calendar 2024-2025 school year.
I appreciate Grant for coming on the show once again, getting the first show in 2025 kicked off and just going with a bang. Athletes, once again, I said it earlier, congratulations on the academic accomplishments athletically. Max and Sydney, congratulations as well. Look forward to hopefully I'm sure we'll get Sydney back on. Max, maybe at some point if the schedule lines up, getting him on the show and just talking to him about why he chose IUK and other stuff going on with basketball this year. I'm done rambling. We got a lot of stuff going on this week. Get out to IUK on Saturday. It's a doubleheader. Men play at 1. The women's basketball team plays at 3. 2 games, the price of 1. You don't want to miss it. Thank you for tapping into the Cougar Cast. We'll see you next time.